Hello, welcome to our next series. So in this series we will be discussing about our lab programs, that is web technology lab. So before going into the actual programs in the JavaScript, that is from the program number 3, let us try to look into some of the simple programs about the JavaScript, or using JavaScript, how we are going to do small programs so that it helps us to continue from there. So now, as we have already discussed in the class, JavaScripts, now it is one of the very important scripting programming language through which we are going to make our HTML more dynamic one. So we can write some function through which we can try to see the tags or the elements in the HTML more dynamic. So now straight away, without discussion much, so let us try to look some of the ways in which the JavaScript coding can be done. Basically, we are trying to add the JavaScript, we are trying to embed the JavaScript in our HTML. Okay, so we are not writing a JavaScript with a .js file and trying to execute that in our terminal. So just we are using our VS Code, right? So we have opened one particular file. As you can see that we have opened a file, HTML file. So now, as we know that how the structure of the HTML, so we'll first create, so we'll type the entire code, right? So now we got a structure of our HTML which has got head tag, HTML head, body, and the closing of all this tag. So now let's go to the title. Now in the title we will give that, let us say that we are going to add 2 numbers, right? So we try to add 2 numbers, very simple script we are going to write. So now in our head section, that is, now we try to write the script. So in order to insert the script, so we are going to use the tag script, right? So type the script, you are going to get the script here. So now to add 2 numbers we need 2 variables, right? And to find the sum we are going to use another third variable. So variables in JavaScript is defined by using the keyword called as var. So type var, so we'll take 3 numbers a, b, and sum. So we are going to take these 3 numbers a, b, and sum. So now, as we have declared here, now here itself let us say that I will assign a value to a as 10, to b as 20. So we have assigned 10 and 20. Now I will find the sum of these two, sum equal to a plus b and with semicolon, right? So now we got the result sum. Now I want to print this on our HTML page. To do that we are going to use again a built-in which is called as the document. So now this particular, we are going to use this particular function, built-in function called as document. So now document dot, so we are going to say document dot write, right? So a method we are going to use. Now document dot write, it will print the result on our HTML page. So document dot write, open bracket, double quotation, so sum is equal to plus sum. This is our scripting, what the scripting in 3 lines. We have written one simple script. Now we'll come to the body. We have not written any body. Let me save this file, right? And we'll open this with our live server. So when you open this particular HTML page in our live server, now you can see what is the result we are going to get. So now we got that result. You can see here sum is equal to 30. So now this is a simple script what we have written to display the sum on our HTML page. Now if you look into this particular script, so now it doesn't look very interactive for us, because every time when you run this particular browser, or every time when you are going to execute this particular HTML page, you are going to get sum is 30 only, because by default 10 and 20 is what we have added. So now we will make this bit more interesting by accepting the data from the user point of view. That means you can give any 2 numbers so that you can try to add the result, and you can try to print that particular result. Now to do that, so we will try to change this, right? Now I want to add, right? I want to get that number from our HTML page, so where user can enter a number. So we will go to our body tag. Now we will use the paragraph P, right? So now enter first number. So a user has to see the caption, enter the first number. So now we will use a button tag. So we'll say input, we'll give an ID. For that ID equal to, so we are going to accept the first number, ID equal to first. Now save this program. Now let us see what is the output. You can see here, you can see the changes. What we got, enter first number, and we got a text box. Now it looks better for us, it makes some sense, so that a user can enter here some number, right? Similarly, now we want enter the second number, right? So we'll create another para, enter second number. I'll use an input ID equal to second. So now what happens? So now we will get 2. Let us check what is the status we are going to get, our output. Now you can see enter first number, one box, enter second number, another box. Now user is going to type 2 numbers here, then I need a button, right? So now I need one particular button. When I click on that button, the sum has to display. So that makes better sense for us. Now we are going to add a button here. So now we will add a button, use this particular tag, HTML tag button. Now as soon as you click on that button, we want the sum. So I need a function. So before you angular bracket is closed in this first particular button, so now we will use an event on click. So we'll go to on click, type enter key, inside the double quotation. Now I'll write the function. Now let us say that I am going to have a function called as add. Add is a function, add, open bracket, and double close the bracket. Now this is the function. Now this function will add the 2 numbers, whatever numbers you are going to give in this text box, which are been, that is input box, which are been given a unique ID. Now this ID is very important. So we are giving a unique ID. With this ID, whatever is been typed, you have to extract it, store it in a number, and perform the addition. And all these things happens when you click on this button. So this JavaScript we are going to write. In our JavaScript, now we are going to write a function for this particular add. Now if you just execute this, if you just save it and see what the output you are going to get, now you can see a button has come here, but nothing is there. What to do? User should know, right, what is that particular button. So we'll put a caption to this button. So before you are going to close this, that is your button tag, now we'll just say add, right? You can see that you get a button with add. Now when you click on this add button, nothing is going to happen because we have not written any script. We have not written a function add. Once you write that function add, then only everything is going to work, or we can say our complete program is completed. So now we'll come back to our script. Now what we told, we need to define one function. So you are going to define this function, right? Function, what is the name of the function? Add you have taken, open bracket and close the bracket. Now you are going to define the function. Now what we want, same a, b and sum. So we are going to declare 3 variables, a, b and sum. Now the first number which you are going to type here, that is in this particular text box, right? Here you are going to type some number, like say this number. Now this number, whatever you are typing in a text box, it is taken as a string generally, but we want to add the numbers. So now we have to convert that string, we have to parse that string to an integer. So the first number in the text box, I am going to store it in a variable a is equal to parse int. Now you can see as soon as you type par, you can see here you have got parse int. You have got a function called as a parse int, which is going to convert the string to integer, because a is a integer number you are going to add. So you are going to say parse int, open bracket. Now from where you are going to get that text box is in on our HTML. So document dot get element ID. Now this get element ID is one particular, again a method, right? So it is a method. You can see here it is a method, document dot get element by ID, inside the bracket element ID, and it is taking it as a screen. That means this get element ID, what element ID. So the first element, they enter the first number. What is in that text box? What is the ID you are given? You are given the ID as first, right? So you are going to take this particular ID in this text box, whatever you are typing, that is you are going to fetch that from the document, that is document dot get element ID, parse it to integer and store it in this variable A. That is what we are going to do. So get element by ID, open and close the bracket. Inside this, what is the first element ID we are given? First, right? This is what you can see here. This is the first, enter the first number, ID is first. So first, close the bracket, dot. Now you are going to get the value. So you are going to get the value. So type value, end with semicolon. Clear? So now you what this particular line says, because this is the common one which you are going to use in almost all the programs, or we can say when you are using the script where you are getting the data from the HTML elements. So ID is important for us. Which ID? ID name, the first, that is enter first number, the ID is first, get element by ID. In that first ID, that is in this particular text box, what you are typing the value, you get that value from the document and convert it into integer. Parse int is a function, and it, because you can see here the parse int, it returns a number, so you store it in variable A. I think this is clear. Now similarly I have to do for the second text box, that is second number. So I will use B equal to parse int document dot get element by ID. What is our ID? SECOND, second, dot value, and with semicolon. Now the two numbers are ready with us, A and B. Now I have to just find the sum equal to A plus B. Now I got the result. Now what we have to do now with this result? Now let us see what is going to happen. We'll just save it and try to execute. You type the first number, you type a second number, click on add. No output, because addition is performed. We have written a function to add. We got the result. Result is stored in sum, but where you are displaying? You have to display somewhere, right? So now again we'll go to our program. We'll come to our body section. So now I need to display that. So now where we will display? Now let us say that you are going to take another text box. I will take another particular paragraph P. So I will type sum equal to, right? So sum equal to, now I'll put a input box whose ID, I'll make it as sum, right? Now you see, you can see here, this is first number one text box, second number text box, you have an add. Now sum equal to, now result has to come in that, result should come in this. Now what is the ID for this text box? What we have used? ID we have used is sum. So now what we go, we'll go to our function. As soon as you have calculated the sum, now we will use document dot get element by ID. Now what is that ID we have used? Sum, in which we want to display. So dot value is equal to sum. So in this previous line, here you have found the sum. That result you assign it to element ID sum. Which element is having this ID sum? This element. That is, we have put another text box. The ID you have given it as sum, right? So now let us save this program. So 12 first number, second number is 12. Click on add. So we got the sum. Clear? Now this is one simple program. So where we have used the script, right? We have used a script to add two numbers. We are taking the data from our HTML tags and we find the sum, display it by using again the another particular input ID. So I think this is one of the very simple way. The previous one was also addition of two numbers, but it was not so interactive for us. But now we have made this particular little bit more interactive. Now let us see still how we can build. Because as I always repeatedly keep on telling is that in web designing, so you can use or you can try to use lot of tags are there, lot of innovative things, creative things you can try to do it. Clear? Now let us take another way in which you can try to execute this particular addition of two numbers. Now what we do is that, now let us say that here when you started this particular program, so let me refresh. Now what we got, this is the output I got. Now still you can use lot of the creative things in this. You can put one border, you can change the background color, you can write one CSS file, right? Now in that CSS file you can try to make lot of style sheets or properties. You can try to set so that the whatever the output you are going to get, you can make it more interactive. So here I am not discussing much about all those things. So all these things you can try it on your own by making the colors, font, whatever the different tags you have discussed. So here we will be just trying to look into the functionalities, the basic scripts and how the functionalities is going to work. Now let us go ahead. Now the same program, now what we are going to do is, now think that enter first number. So enter the first number, one number, this label is coming, I get a text box, right? Other things are hidden. I don't want to display this enter second number, I don't want this button, I don't want this sum and everything. I need only one enter first number, one particular text box. I enter a number and one button will come. It says enter, I click on that button. Once I enter first number and click on enter, automatically this has to go. I should get another label, enter second number, another text box, and another button. The button name has to change to, let us say, add, because two numbers, only addition of two numbers. Now when I click on this add, I should get the result. Now all this whatever is there, it should go off. I should get only the result sum equal to. So we are trying to add the two numbers individually, accepting the numbers individually, right? Now let us see how we can try to modify this particular program. So let me just delete everything, right? So we will create the, we'll get the structure. Now I will go into our body section. So first I will create what all the things is required for us, then we'll go to the scripting. So now we'll go to the body. So now I will use a paragraph tag P. Now for paragraph I am assigning an ID. So ID equal to P1. So now what we have done, I am assigning an ID for paragraph. Now each paragraph one different ID. So later on, so we can use this particular ID because I need only one text box to display, I need one text box to hide, right? So we are going to give individual IDs, assign an individual ID, and all these IDs should be unique. So different. So the first paragraph P1 we are going to take. So now what we need, enter first number. I'll type enter the first number. So I'll take an input box, input ID equal to first, right? Then I'll put a button. We'll have a button. Now on this particular button, as soon as you type first number, I should accept that number. For that we will write one function. So to call that function, we'll use on click. Let us say get f number, get the first number. We'll write one function, get the first number. So on this button I will display the caption as enter, right? Now let us save this. Now let us see what is the output you are going to get. See, this is only we are getting enter first number. I got on text box. Here I am going to enter and I am going to click. Now as soon as I click on this button, enter button, I should accept everything in the sense this number which is there, I have to accept it. For that I will write one function. So now that function will be executing get first number. As soon as I click on this, now this function get first number has to be executed. I think it is clear. So now we went to have our first paragraph. Now we'll create another P. Now I will give the paragraph ID is equal to P2. I will give the ID is equal to P2. So now what we are doing, apart from ID equal to P2, now we are going to use another property, CSS style. So which we are going to say, now style is equal to display property I will set as none. Now what is the importance of this particular, we'll see right now. So now this is what we are given: id equal to p2, style equal to display none, enter second number, right? Enter second number, input id equal to second, input id is equal to second. So now I need a button again here, button, we have to accept this. So on click, I'll use a function to accept the second number, get yes number. We have this another function which is used to get the second number. So caption I will give add. Clear? So now two buttons are going to come. Now let us save this. Now try to listen carefully. Now why the CSS style we are adding? Style equal to display none. So now if you execute this program, now you see what is happening. We same thing, there is no changes. Enter first number, a text box, enter is there. Now observe carefully. I will delete this style. I will delete this style equal to display, right? I have deleted that. I will save this. Now you see what is the changes. Now you can see here what is happening. Enter second number, a text box, a button, add. Previously this was not visible. So now to make this second line, or you can say this enter second number, this text box and this add button to hide, we are setting a property in this P2, that is in this paragraph, that is second one. So that is style. So style equal to display and the property we are saying none. So now this none is a property which hides this entire tag. Now you see here, as soon as you execute, now you see this second, the enter second number, this text box, this is hidden. So we are hiding that. We don't want right now. We want that when after first number is given, after typing this first number, after you press the enter key, then this entire thing has to hide. This has to come. Which one? Enter second number has to come, right? Now third one, now we need to display the sum, right? So now we'll take another para, p will give id equal to p3, id equal to p3, and I want to hide this also initially. So I will set style display as none. So what we want to display? Sum equal to sum of those two numbers. So sum is equal to. Now we will change it. So now in the previous program we have taken a text box, right? We have taken a text box, that is input. On that, inside that we are displaying the sum. Now we will just put that onto our HTML by using a tag called as span, right? So we will just add this tag span, and for this id we will give, that is our sum or result, whatever you can give. So now once the entire thing, that is once the result is been once you add two numbers, now I am just sum equal to, in this place we are putting the value whatever is present in this particular sum. So we are not taking any text box, just we are using span. So now this is the designing aspect what we have done in the body tag. Now we will go to our head and we will try to write the script. Now what we have to do, we have to write two functions. One is get the first number and get the second number, and appropriately we have to make the elements, HTML elements, to be visible, right? So we'll go to our script. So we'll use the tag script. So now this is the addition of two numbers, right? So we'll take variable a, b and sum. So first function we will write function. So what is the name of the function? Get f number. So first we will get the first number. What is that? A. In this a equal to parseInt document dot get element by id, which is the first one. We're storing it in first dot value and with semicolon. So now you got the first number. Now we'll use another if loop, if condition, if a, that means if number is there, so then only we enter inside. So now we'll take another variable temp. Now we will get this particular first para. So this p1 is related to the first number. We will get the id. So right from that, because I want to, if that number is there, we are going to hide that particular property. So temp equal to document dot get element by id p1. That is from first para I get the id into temp, and this temp dot style dot display equal to none. So this hides the HTML element. So we are going to hide that particular element. So next, temp equal to document. So be very careful, small d it is, document dot get element by id. Now we'll take the p2 id. Now this also we are going to unhide. That means I want this visible. See, once after this get the first number, once you got the first number, right? Now what we want the second number to be, that is the enter second number, right? Enter the second number and the add button should be visible for us. This should be, we have to hide this. You have to hide enter first number because that task is over. So now we will get the id of p2. id of p2 is what? Enter the second number. We'll get that particular id in this variable temp. Now I will set the property. So temp dot style dot display is equal to block. Now we are going to set the property as block. Now block means those things is to make that entire tags visible. You want to make it as visible. Now I want the second enter second number to be visible. I want to hide the enter the first number. So I will make this enter the second number as visible now. So now this is the function what we have written for get number. Now let us see, we'll execute this, we'll see any changes. Right, enter the first number. I will enter it. As soon as I press enter key, now it goes to what? Get first number function. It goes to this particular function. Once it goes to control goes to this function, because you are clicking on this enter button, it comes to on click, go to get first number. You go to this first element id, whatever number you are going to type, converted to integer parseInt, it's stored in a. If the number is there, you come inside the if loop, you go to the para 1, you get that id in temp and style dot display equal to null. That means that enter first number and that text box is hidden from us. After hiding that, we want enter second number, a text box and add button to visible. So what we do, we will get the id of p2, put that in temp and temp dot style dot display equal to block. When you use this block, that entire thing becomes visible, right? Now let us see whether it is visible or not. So enter first number, I click on button. Now you see there is a changes. Now what you are going to get? Enter second number, because enter second number, a box and a add. Why this is? Enter first number is gone, enter second number is coming. Why it is coming? Because here you are taking these two lines, text equal to document dot get element id p2. You are making that, you are setting the display property to block. Block means it is visible, it makes that as visible. Now this is the function. I think it is very clear what we have written to add the first number. Now similarly we will write a function to get second number, right? So now how do you get? It is stored in P. Same, B equal to parseInt document dot get element by ID second dot value. So get the second number. Now if first number, that means you have entered the first number and the second number, right? If number is there, so now we try to do the next thing. Now after entering second number, now what should happen? You have to think, right? After entering second number, what it should happen? That enter first number, again it should be unhide. We have to unhide that number. Enter second number, that also we should unhide. Then we have to find the sum. Then whatever the result we are going to get, we have to put that in this P3, that is sum equal to spam ID. So all these things we are going to do. So first temp equal to document dot get element by ID. So we'll get the element ID from P1, right? We'll set the property temp dot style dot display is equal to none. Next temp equal to document dot get element by ID P2. This also we should unhide now, sorry, hide it. Temp dot style dot display is equal to none, right? So now both are hidden. Find the sum equal to A plus B. You got the sum. Now temp equal to document dot get element by ID. Now that P3, till this time P3 was hidden, we were not able to display this sum equal to, right? Now I want to make that as visible. So temp equal to document dot get element ID P3, right? Now this temp dot style dot display is equal to block. Now we will be able to see that sum equal to. Now after making that visible, now I have to display whatever result is there in this sum. I want to print it. So how do you print? We are going to use document dot get element by ID. So what is that ID? Sum. This ID, what ID we are given? Yes, span equal to ID equal to sum. Now in this dot, now previously since we are using text box, we are saying dot value equal to sum. Now we have got another tag which is called as inner dot HTML. Another property we are using, this inner dot HTML. Now this is used to, this is for the control of HTML element with ID sum. It is get replaced with the value of sum. So for that we are using this inner dot HTML. So wherever this ID sum is there, here in this place, span ID equal to sum, in this place this result is been displayed. So dot inner dot HTML is equal to sum. Clear? Now this is the things what we are trying to do in the function get second number. Now let us save this and execute. So it is asking first number 12. Click on enter, enter second number 12. Now it has changed to add. Now click on add. I got the result sum equal to 24. Sum equal to 24. Clear? So I think this is how still more interactive we have done. Now you have seen that three types in which we have done, right? One was the simple script where without taking any button, just by default you gave some value. Every time you run the program, you are going to get the same program. Then slightly we modified the program wherein which you are accepting first number, second number, sum equal to, all the text box was displayed initially to us. One by one we gave. The third variation what we do, individually we started taking. So we took only first number, then second number, then we try to display the result. Clear? So now this was a one of the simple program what we have seen. So in our next program, now we'll slightly enhance this from the addition to, that is, in this program we have just done the add. So in the second program we will try to involve some other functionalities of basic mathematics like add, subtract, multiply and delete. We'll try to do it all these functions by using only one button. So I hope that these things are very clear. So try to practice this, right? So once you practice, then try to give different background, coloring, border. Now all those things you can try to give. Work it with all the tags whatever you have learned. Try to work it and make the pages to be more innovative, more colorful, look and feel. So in entire web, what is very important is look and feel of your entire website. So those things you try to practice on your own. So with this we'll end up this particular series, or we can say, sorry, this particular topic, that is the first program or the simple program what we have discussed, that is addition of two numbers. I hope you understood. If you have any doubt later, you can just ping me or you can just ask the doubts in the class. Have a nice day. Bye bye.